If there's a dirty football player in the National Football League, it'd show you a picture of Bucko Kilroy.
I don't think Bucko ever tried to be dirty, but, well, I shouldn't say that.
For a so-called teammate, Bucko Kilroy was the dirtiest football player I ever saw.
The guy was going back to the huddle, to his huddle. Bucko ran behind him and kicked him in the bottom, right in front of everybody.
So we got a big penalty and Bucko got thrown out of the game. But he laughed. He says it's worth that in publicity.
Well, you know, that's, we have fun.
In the 1940s, hardly anyone noticed linemen. But Bucko Kilroy changed all that. The Philadelphia Eagles were a running team, and Bucko, number 76, was right out front, blocking opponents or tripping them as he saw fit.
Bucko was known for some of his tactics where if you weren't looking, he's going to cuff you a little bit. So when you're around him, you had to have eyes coming out of the back of your head so you don't get blindsided.
Bucko played 13 seasons, and he made All-Pro 4 times, throwing blocks that helped the Eagles win 2 world championships.
The first recollection I have of Bucko Kilroy was told you all you needed to know was that cleat mark. You see that cleat mark on the face, you know, this guy's tough. And I remember him getting in fights with Artie Donovan in preseason games in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Those games were kind of vicious in those days.
I was down the ground and I kicked up, and I caught him in the groin. They don't know whether it was intentionally or not, but anyway, he didn't play for the rest of the game.
He would sort of go, heh, 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 and laugh about it.
Oh, he had really a fiendish laugh. He was a fiendish guy.
Bucko was called Frankenstein. You know, like he's been put together from several people, and we don't know how to handle him or anything.
We had a contract on it, but there was no money involved. We just had a tremendous dislike for him.
They were down on the other end of the field, and we were practicing there, so I walked over, and I knew most of them. I says, I hear you guys are out to get me today. I says, I will be there every play. And I says, I'll see you after the game, too.
Once against Cleveland, he intercepted a pass. Guys came off the bench to get a shot at Bucko. They'd always wanted one shot at him, you know. And there were like 20 guys chasing him down the field, taking shots at him while he ran the ball. You know what? They could barely get him down. It took him, they had torn his shirt off and his helmet and everything, but he was chugging away.
Bucko was a skillful two-way player. But even when he played within the rules, opponents called him dirty.
That has been the reply of the losers forever and ever and ever. In pro football, they have all these egos and all. When they get beat, why did he get beat? Not because he overpowered you or finessed you. He played dirty.
Bucko's roughhouse style worked to his advantage. When he slammed an elbow to an opponent's jaw, even if it drew a penalty, he felt it was worth it. Because for the rest of the game, that opponent would stay as far away from Bucko and the football as possible.
He was tough. He didn't care. He'd give you a forearm, a shiv, and everything else. He'd say to Mike Dramlock, you knock him down, I'll kick him. And I believed him, too.
Kilroy and Bednarik were teammates for 7 years. But they first met as opponents when Bednarik played against the Eagles as a member of the College All-Stars.
I'm playing offensive center, and he's lined up in front of me. He hit me with such an illegal shot in my face, I wanted to kill him. And I hated him ever since. I don't talk about people like this generally. He's the only person I talk about. He kicked people. He was a dirty football player.
Well, he wasn't. 1, 2, 3, Frank Gifford, you're out.
I saw him kick Charlie Trippi off the field one day. When he could have tackled him or pushed him out, he took his right foot and kicked him.
So I took my helmet off and started beating him on the head with it. And of course, then the police came.
We used to do things like that. You couldn't do things like that today.
In 1952, Life magazine featured Bucko in a story entitled Savagery on Sunday. The article singled out Kilroy as the dirtiest player in pro football. The result was a lawsuit. Bucko Kilroy versus Life magazine.
It was held on our turf in Philadelphia, federal court. So the jury found me innocent. So as a result, if anybody brings that up again, I always say, I was vindicated by a jury, which I was.
When he quit playing, Bucko launched phase 2 of his football career. He worked as an assistant coach with the Eagles, then vice president and general manager in New England. At age 78, Kilroy still served as a consultant with the Patriots, a kindly, white-haired grandfather who seemed nothing like the infamous Bucko of old.
Some of the secretaries used to say, some of the things they write about you, that's awful.
He would revel in hearing this, I'll tell you that. He took great pride in his reputation.
And if he ever watches this show, Bucko, you were a dirty football player. That's all I got to say about you.